Civil Aviation Authority where the aircraft register, the crew register. It may be 45 minutes, maybe 1 hour, maybe half an hour, all right? So all in all, very simple mathematics will tell you about 16, 17 hours. So they exceeded their duty hours. So what to do next? They can't operate. It doesn't mean that you just refuel the aircraft, they can come back, all right? So the airline, if they are lucky, they have a set of spare crew in Taiwan, in Taipei, for example, they should be able to make it maybe within 2-3 hours. I never say 1 hour, because my experience with airlines before, ground handling is also very challenging during a diversion situation, because you have to remember, you are not the only airline diverted to that place. Because of the bad weather, there are numbers of airlines that diverted to Taiwan, Taipei as well, all right? So in other words, if you use the same set of crew, they need at least 10 hours crew rest. So all in all, you are talking about, you waste another day. So the airline, I won't say they lose the aircraft, but their aircraft, got stuck there for almost 1 day, and their crew got stuck there for almost another 1 day. So this is what we call lock-on effect. So because of that reason, you see a lot of baggage stranded there, because initially the aircraft can London, Hong Kong, if they can make it. After arrive Hong Kong, the aircraft may operate on other route like Hong Kong, Kuala Lumpur, just give you an example, after refueling, after uplift of catering, after change of crew. But in this case, it's unexpected. This is something unexpected, because they don't know the aircraft, cannot make it. So the aircraft diverted, and then, will only come back the next day. So there's a lot of work to do for the airlines to do the re-rostering of the staff, redeployment of aircraft. So that's the reason why this flight, suppose, for example, the bag are going to KL because of this problem. Now they don't know which aircraft they can use. Do they mean that, they have to reschedule the flight to another day, or they can utilize another aircraft? These are the things, very difficult. I don't think I can use half an hour here to explain too much in details, all right? All right, if you look at the queue over there, this is also true. This is not drill and exercise. This is actual event, all right? Now, also after the recovery of a typhoon, because the airlines are also not too sure, the rescheduling of the flights. And also because of the reason I mentioned earlier on, the aircraft maybe end up in Taiwan, Guangzhou, Manila, or even Kuala Lumpur, even Singapore, all right? So a lot of passengers, they come to the airport, but they don't know whether the flight is going to be on time, or they don't know what sort of arrangement the airline is going to plan for them. They may transfer them on other flights, or they will give them hotel accommodation and tell them tomorrow you come at what time, or probably they will tell you, I don't know, because at that moment it's really chaotic. They may tell you, okay, can you go back home and then leave your telephone number, I will call you, all right? It's very difficult to handle a situation like this. All right, let us move on to talk about the topic today is emergency response, crisis management, and BCP. Now, given that there are many types of potential crises I mentioned earlier on, all right, so the airport has to come up with something, all right, to deal with crisis, to deal with emergency situation, and also to maintain business continuity. Now, the key words here is early detection of incidents, all right, preparation, all right. If crisis develop into a case, we must have plans able to minimize the scope, the scale, and the duration of the impact, all right. This is our belief, and this is something we have to follow. Now, another thing we have to look at is, airport industry is highly regulated, all right? Highly regulated by the government, by the international organization. And that is the reason why whatever we do in terms of the emergency plan, BCP, and also crisis management, all that sort of things must be in compliance with a lot of regulatory requirements. What are these requirements? Okay, If you look at this diagram, you can see we have, that should be on your left, that's correct, ICAO. ICAO is a short form. Some people say ICAO is the same thing, it doesn't matter, as you like it. It's an International Civil Aviation Organization, which is a specialized agency under the United Nations. I must say, most, if not all, the airport, well, I don't say the airport, I say the countries, all right, or the member states are members of ICAO, all right. Now, for example, Hong Kong is actually a special administration region under China, under mainland China, all right? But we have our individual or our own CAD status. We are member of ICAO, all right? So because of this reason, all right, we need to follow a lot of what we call ICAO standards and recommended practices, all right? Standards is something that you have to follow, no exemption, all right? Recommended practice is something that, good practice. This is something recommended by the ICAO, all right? So Hong Kong, I think same as Singapore, Malaysia, all right? We won't do something which is substandard. Instead, we will move one step forward. We're doing something which is even more stringent than what ICAO said, all right? Give you an example, air crash exercise. All right, under the ICAO requirement, all right, each member state has to carry out drills and I'm sorry, I used the wrong word. I rephrase it. Each member state must conduct full-scale crash exercise every 2 years, all right? In Hong Kong situation, we have to do it 1 year, every year without fail, all right? In November and December, we have to do it. This is an additional requirement placed by the Civil Aviation Department. So that's why I say it's a highly regulated industry. Okay, you may ask me the question, what happens if we don't follow? If we don't follow the directive from the Civil Aviation Department or the ICAO standard, all right? The auditor from CAD or even from ICAO, once in a while they will come. Then they will issue us what we call non-compliance status, meaning that we don't have the license to operate the airport, which means that the airport authority, which is the currently airport operator at Hong Kong International Airport, okay, will not be able to manage the airport. And at the end of the day, I may lose my job. Okay. Move on to talk about emergency procedure manual, which is on your right-hand side, the bottom part. Now, emergency procedure manual is one of the pillars, I use the word pillars, that support us to get a license from the Civil Aviation Department. Since we have a little bit of time, I'll just explain a little bit more. There are 3 documents which definitely required by the government before they give you the license. Number 1 is the emergency procedures manual. Another one is the aerodrome manual. Aerodrome manual, in short, is something to deal with the procedure policy at the airside. Airside meaning the apron, parking, the aircraft parking stands, the taxi lane, all right, and the airfield. Airfield is the one way, all right. And another one is the security program, all right. These are the 3 essential documents that you have to have before the authority grants you the aerodrome license. All right, so this is our corporate policy about our, emergency crisis management, business continuity management. Now, wow, it's thunderstorm. Okay, the keywords here is best practice. Best practice. Best practice meaning that, we have to benchmark with other international airports, all right, to learn from other people which are the good things, all right. This is what we normally do in aviation, not only for crisis management, not only for BCP, even terminal operation, airside operation, safety, all right. Okay, another word I want to highlight is the annual preparedness program, all right? There again, you see the word prepare. That's why I stress on, preparation, prepare in advance is very important. That is our corporate policy. Now move on to talk about the process. This slide is very simple. The thick blue line shows you the time, meaning that, this risk management process is ongoing, all right? Never stop. Now the green arrow shows you that before anything happens, we have to draw up strategies to lower the risk to a sort of what we call acceptable level. And there again, I think this is not something new to you, ladies and gentlemen, because if you're talking about safety management system, it's similar things. Now we do risk transfer, avoidance, reduction and retention. However, we all know that, all right, there's nothing foolproof in this world, all right? Things will happen, it will happen, all right? Now, in particular, when you're talking about natural disasters, this is something beyond our control. So what happened for those residual risks, all right? We need to manage it, all right? This slide is explaining a little bit further to the previous one, saying that, during the business continuity management system process, we have a lot of plan. For example, PM, preventive and maintenance plan, try to reduce the risk of, equipment failure, for example. All right, we have fallback plans. Okay, let's say if we have a system, a critical system. Give you an example: the baggage handling system is not working. We must have fallback plans. Are we going to do it manual, semi-manual, or whatever? All right. So this is something on the left, meaning that before things happen, we must have things ready to prepare for that. Okay, the right-hand side is something about this recovery, all right? Meaning that after the sort of incident, accident, emergency, all right, we have the recovery. Recovery, we must have a lot of plan, all right, over there to ensure the continuity of the business. All right, how are we going to implement the BCMS, the Business Continuity Management System? Very simple, just 3 steps. Number 1 is planning. I talked too much just now about plan, all right? Testing, and then training, all right? Now, the key message I want to convey here is that always remember, no matter how good you are being an airport operator, you can't handle crisis alone. You have to rely on your business partner, or rather stakeholders. This is the key. And that is the reason why we have to engage our stakeholders, all right? We have this participation from them. Participation meaning they send their people for training. They send their people to test our fallback plan, contingency plan, and also they participate in different types of drills and exercise, all right? This is what I want to say here. All right, let's move on about the integrated airport center and the airport emergency center. Now, I remember in the old days, aviation, don't talk about airport, even airlines, their operation center is what we call decentralized mode of operation. Maybe you will find it more interesting to look at an airline perspective, all right? The airline, they have what they call movement control center. In the old days I'm talking about. But of course, there may be some airlines still using the same old model at this point in time. They have a movement control center. They have a manager or officer or supervisor there to keep track the movement of their aircraft. All right? In the old days, we don't have computer. Of course, you use very primitive things like a chart, to put the flag over there and say aircraft A is now in Hong Kong, aircraft B is in London, for example. All right? If there's any problem with an aircraft, like technical delay, all right, or any other, crisis or emergency situations that or probably may not be that particular airline. It may be the airport have to close because disabled aircraft on the one-way, etc., etc. So they need to have sort of contingency plan or fallback plan. So what they did last time is to pick up the phone and call different department, like cabin crew department, technical crew department, all right, marketing to look at the commercial